Over the past 14 years in private practice, I've made a lot of observations, but one of them is that sometimes all a person wants to do is just run something by me. So, in other words, get a reality check. So, things like, am I being too sensitive here? Am I seeing this right? Is it me? Is it them?
The best part about it was anonymous. No one knew who I was. They didn't ask me any, personal questions that I didn't feel comfortable answering.
What might be an embarrassing question to ask somebody in your circle or another professional, that just takes away the embarrassment. You can ask this, pose the question on the website, I'll write you back with input and feedback.
I used it a couple weeks ago and then just again yesterday. I logged on, asked my question. A couple hours later, I had a great response.
This is really meant for everyday kind of dilemmas, encounters that you just aren't real sure. Am I seeing this right? It's not psychotherapy, it's not counseling. It's really just objective, professional input and feedback to everyday problems. For instance, I had a young woman write to me. She'd broken up with her boyfriend and he was still calling and emailing her, and she wondered, if that was a problem. I had a man write and say he had a conflict with his boss and wanted some input on that situation. I had a mother write and she had questions about giving her kids an allowance.
It's really affordable, and most times you have to make an appointment with either a therapist or even call a friend. They're not going to answer. With the site, any time of the day you can type in your question and get an answer back fairly quickly.
Oftentimes a person doesn't need an entire session for something they just want to run by you. And psychotherapy can be very expensive. So this way, with the website, you can get a brief response or a detailed response at a very affordable rate.
I'm obviously a younger person, so I don't have a whole lot of money to be spending on going to see a therapist, or a little bit embarrassing to call my friends, talk to my parents about the situations that I'm having at work or with my boyfriend, and it was worth $1 million. It was such great advice both times that I used it.
And I don't think it's expensive. I think it's probably more expensive if you don't use the website. You could spend weeks and months struggling over this one issue, and she clarifies it right away.
When you need an unbiased opinion, if you can't really get the right answer from your parents and you want a professional opinion more than anything, I'd love the site for that. It's cheap.
It was better than talking to anybody that I needed to explain myself to. It was very unbiased, so that was really wonderful.
Sometimes when you leave a meeting from either you're talking with a psychologist or something, you think, how did they put that again? How did they say that? This website, her response is written out. You can go over it 100 times if you want to, and it makes it, that much more of a powerful experience because you always have it with you.
Probably my favorite part about using the website is that I don't really have to go anywhere. I have a laptop, so I just sort of plug it in and sit in front of my TV, and I just, a couple hours later, after watching a few programs, I have an answer that I've been sort of struggling over for a while, and it was cheap, it was easy, and I didn't have to go anywhere.
You can, sit and think about an issue that you might have that you want to go to somebody about without having that immediate pressure there of sitting right in front of somebody and talking.
The advice that I received from the service has really helped me move past that issue and move on with my life.
It was so easy. I've recommended it to a ton of my friends, and I feel so much more confident in my situation that I had, that I could sort of really push through it and learned how to problem solve a little bit with the things that I was struggling with.
So all you do is submit your name, your age, if you're a male, a female, and then you submit your question. Just type in the question, and it gets emailed to me, and I look at it, and I respond with input and feedback specific to your question, your situation. Most people have found this very, very helpful, and I'm hoping that you will find it helpful as well.